This is the story of Shane Eagle and AKA with two very different journeys to where they are today. In this video, we'll dive deep into their complex relationship, how AKA was tough on Shane Eagle, their possible collaboration once upon a time, the rumored beef, and most importantly, how AKA's controversial words about the future of the new wave might have been prophetic. Let's explore what really happened between them and whether AKA was right about the new generation of rappers. Before the drama, before the headlines, Shane Eagle was just trying to make it in a competitive industry, a lyricist known for his introspective style and deep messages. AKA, on the other hand, was already a powerhouse known for his bold persona and his unparalleled success in the industry. When Shane first came into the scene, AKA with his larger-than-life personality took notice.
Hashtag 2016, Shane Eagle gonna take over everything, dog. I'm talking everybody's TV screen, every gig, every part of Joburg, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though. AKA was tough on Shane, offering harsh critiques on his style and image.
Like, you know, people have to have their own time. This age group will have their own time. You know, we have to learn to let go and say, well, what is real hip-hop? Because real hip-hop to one person is not real hip-hop to another person. If you listen to Designer's from Brooklyn, right? Yeah. But he sounds like he's from Atlanta. That's probably because he's 18 years old.
AKA didn't sugarcoat anything. We know AKA he was tough on Shane because he saw potential, but also recognized the mistakes the younger generation was making. The industry was changing rapidly and AKA felt like Shane had to be more than just a good rapper. He had to be a brand, a movement, and this is where the friction started. But obviously it wasn't just based at Shane only, it was basically to everyone in that generation. For a brief moment, fans started to dream about the idea of Shane and AKA collaborating. Imagine the combination of Shane's introspective lyricism and AKA's mainstream dominance. The possibilities were endless, but behind the scenes, the collaboration was never meant to be. The differences between their approaches to music were simply too great.
Hip-hop used to draw bars and now we just dab. I didn't say hip-hop used to draw bars and now you just dab and you just dab. I put myself in the equation because I'm from the new school, but I do know how to draw bars.
So Shane's commitment to staying true to his sound was very admirable, but it didn't always align with AKA's vision, I guess. AKA, being at the top of the game, understood the power of mainstream appeal, something that Shane was less inclined to chase. The clash of ideologies may have led to the death of any serious collaboration.
And I think it's like, I just want to be like the most mishmashed South African possible. I just want to be like completely inside my country and my culture and my everything, man. I just want to be like inside it.
As the years went on, things started to heat up between Shane Eagle and AKA, and the rumors of beef started circulating. It wasn't something they openly addressed at first, but eagle-eyed fans started pointing to subtle disses in their lyrics.
Your favorite rapper is a pop star.
Oh yeah.
Like, right? Is it aiming at a particular rapper in the country?
It's just aiming at like rappers who sound like pop stars.
Here from Simpiwe who asks, please ask the homie if he's beefing with Shane Eagle or not.
No, I thought it was actually pretty funny because Shane Eagle came to my crib to play me his album. I think it was towards the end of last year, you know, and I think I've always been really cool with them, you know, the hustle. I would like to think I played a part in putting Shane Eagle in a position where he could, you know, do something for himself.
Sure.
And he said, he had this line that says something about your favorite rapper is a pop star. And you know, I hadn't heard it, right? But I'd been going around saying, yo, I want to be a pop star. So it in the timing, it kind of, but wait, no, hold on, let me explain. Yeah? So, you know, people, whether it is directed to me or it isn't, I don't know. But, you know, people will be like, oh, they talking about you, dog. They saying you want to be a pop star. So I thought, hey, man, when I come back, let me post a caption that says, yo, your favorite rapper is a pop star. Like, yo, yeah, I'm huge. I'm super popular. And then he was, I think he's in Amsterdam or something on Instagram. And then he posted a caption that said, out in Europe, doing bigger things.
Wow.
So I thought, this is pretty funny. So, but it's cool, man. It's like a joke. Well, at least I think it is.
On the 22nd of June 2018, AKA went on his usual Twitter time to tell artists that They don't need major labels to give them deals to make their dreams possible because he'd done it independently, which was referring to Touch My Blood, that had released under his record label Beam Group. But Shane low-key clapped back and said AKA had been signed, and obviously Mr. Forbes doesn't let anything slide and responded to Shane by saying, "If you have a problem with me, then tell me." He went on to say, "I created you." He goes on to say, "I actually like you and what you're doing. Today you talk to me like I'm one of your young boys. These boys are disrespectful, that's why I keep smacking them." Basically, he's saying that he's the smack daddy. So Nasty C is spank daddy, AKA is smack daddy. So AKA carried on to socially smack Shane Eagle, and he told him that he knows that Touch My Blood went gold in a week, while Yellow has been out for like a year or something but hasn't gotten any certification. He said good luck, and he hopes that this reply will help with his cause, and I just think that is so cold. But he didn't finish there. If you know the GOAT, you know he doesn't stop, and he tweeted once again saying the truth is Shane doesn't like him, and he invited Shane to his house. Shane played the album for him and asked him to jump on, but AKA didn't feel the album apparently. He then apologized and says he shouldn't have handled it that way. He could have handled it better. And he's guessing he really liked Shane and that's why it hurt him. But then again, he goes on to say that his mission is taking his album from gold to platinum and that people like using him for clout. And yeah, AKA made tweeting popular in South Africa. I don't care what anyone has to say.
Ain't you 30 and some change? No, it's not easy seeing young niggas coming off for your place. You was talking online, then you fell for the bait.
It wasn't directed to anyone. It was addressing someone. Okay. So like it's a whole song. And then the second verse I had to give it to some of these old dudes.
Okay, hold on. Let's not talk about somebody. Let's get to the crux of it.
AKA, yeah.
Okay, so the beef is a real thing? With the situation?
For me, that's funny that, like, you would call it beef.
Yeah.
Like, with someone like
that's why I changed and say situation.
Yeah, situation. I was just, like, on Gustavo, I had to, like, some people go to social media.
Yeah, yeah.
I go to the music.
So things get interesting when AKA made a statement that would later come to define how he viewed the future of hip-hop, especially the so-called new wave rappers of that time. And AKA famously predicted that this new generation of artists wouldn't be remembered because they lacked the relatability and cultural impact that the previous generations had. He rapped even young guys coming up saying, "Mega, you old school now, but how you still so relevant in an era where rappers sound so American, no pride in their own heritage, whole vibe so negative, ain't nobody gonna remember them." So before we go further into this video, I'd just like to speak about that specific verse because I think it shaped the state of South African hip-hop today. If it wasn't for that verse, no one would have questioned the new wave rappers on their cultural appeal. Right now, hip-hop is quite though, put in close brackets. But majority of rappers that blew up after Nasty C and A. Reese after that verse started having more cultural appeal. And it sparked debates and conversations about whether or not A. Reese and Nasty C will ever have, you know, the impact of the previous generations. Nota also being a huge part of that conversation.
If you shut out youngster CPT, the representation of colored culture dies. Shane Eagle doesn't do that. Whether he's alive or dead, he doesn't represent anything that matters. True. He's just a wannabe J. Cole.
While that was going on, Blackie was being manufactured. A Lotanova Pounds was being manufactured. A Tony or Smamane or even a Dikowala. But South African hip-hop started building its identity again with just a verse from AKA. I'm not saying it's fully that verse, but that verse really played a large part in contributing to what South African hip-hop is today. Today we can listen to the Kwelas and Brother Cooper like we're listening to Ken Carson and Playboy Cardi.
If any one of my fellow artists are in here, like artist friends and stuff, and you had a Amapiano song and you were thinking I would go well on it, kill that idea right now.
So at the time, obviously people dismissed AKA's comments as bitter or nostalgic, I guess. After all, he was already a household name and his time at the top was seemingly, unmatched. But looking at the trajectory of Shane Eagle and others who rose during the new wave, it's hard to ignore how AKA's words seem to ring true. And obviously, man, fast forward to today, Shane Eagle, once hailed as the next big thing in South African hip-hop, seems to be fading from the mainstream. His album sales aren't hitting the numbers they once did, and his presence in the charts has dwindled. Sorry. The same artist who once had the industry buzzing now struggles to reclaim that same attention. While Shane's talent is undeniable, it seems the industry has obviously moved on. The sound that once elevated him to prominence no longer holds the same weight, and the cultural relevance that AKA warned all of us about is starting to look like he was actually right.
Is like your favorite rapper is a pop star, darling. Like, I don't know. I'm just like rappers. I don't like.
And then obviously there's AKA. Despite the challenges, despite the criticism, AKA continued to remain a force in the game. His brand was forever still strong. His ability to evolve in the times, he just remained relevant, constantly changing the industry until his passing. RIP to the legend. And that is something that many of his, contemporaries, including Shane Eagle, have struggled with. And AKA didn't just rely on his music, he built an empire, embraced new sounds, and kept his finger on the pulse of South African culture. That's very important. His prediction about the new generation falling off might be harsh, but it's hard to deny that many of the so-called new wave artists have struggled to maintain the same level of relevance.
So we don't need a Shane Eagle. We don't need it. You know what I mean?
What did you think of him when you saw him on the Vuzu hustle?
Like, we don't need it. That's what I thought.
So let me know, was AKA right? Was Shane Eagle's fall from mainstream success inevitable? And the new wave of South African hip-hop came in with great promise. But as AKA predicted, the question remains, where is the cultural impact? Where is the longevity? While Shane Eagle still has a loyal fan base, I think it's clear that the mainstream has moved on to the next thing or the next big thing. And that leaves us questioning, is AK's prophecy about the new wave really, a cautionary tale about the industry's hunger for the next big thing? Maybe that should be the next video. Only time will tell if the new wave can find, its place in South African hip-hop history. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you think AK's predictions will continue to ring true. One thing's for certain, the game is unforgiving and staying relevant is harder than it looks. So let's not be hard on these guys.